A man is shot and killed in Little Rock, and tonight his family is speaking out.
A body found near Greenway and Belmont Drive, and a family unsure of their loved one's whereabouts. Left with no information or contact.
You have no messages.
But a ping from Life 360 told them their worst fear.
He was a good person. He would love me to death. I love him a lot. I would never stop talking about him.
Shoot him 4 times?
They hope to see his killer behind bars one day soon.
Just take him away. And never come back here again.
During sleepless nights waiting for information, one word comes to mind: justice.
Somebody took his life. I just need some justice for James, and I can't rest until I get it.
How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to Street Mothers Podcast. Who do we have with us today?
My name is Joyce Connolly.
All right, and
My name is Jamel Foster.
can you start off with telling me about your son? Because we just gonna jump right on into everything.
Okay. My son's name is James Wiggins IV. He was killed May 4th, 2022 by some of his so-called friends.
James Wiggins IV, killed May 4th, 2025 in Little Rock, Arkansas. As of the date of this release, his case is still unsolved.
Okay, and so is James' case unsolved? Okay. So have you been speaking with the detectives, or what's been going on with this case?
Yesterday was a year that I have heard from the detective, and I call every week, and it's just hard to get in touch with him.
Okay, who is the detective?
Detective Eric Temple.
Eric Temple. Okay, so can you tell me about when you first got the call about James? What happened that night?
I didn't get a call. I have the Life 360, and I have the door ring, and James was standing outside his house, and it was 2:03. After he got through talking to whoever he talked to, he geared off. I couldn't see him behind the camera anymore. So the next thing I know, the next morning, I was looking for him because he had a doctor's appointment. So I looked on Life 360, and I seen where he left at 2:03, and at 2:42, he was it was beaming at Greenwood in Little Rock. And I tried to call him next morning because he had a doctor's appointment. Well, I couldn't get in touch with him. So we tried all that day. And normally that's unusual for him because I have 7 grandsons and they were always on the phone daily, FaceTime. So that evening, my daughter-in-law came home, and I was telling her, I said, last time I seen James, he was beaming over on Greenway. And she said, what? She said, they found a body over there. I immediately called the police department and told them that his body was last seen over there. And they told me they couldn't tell me nothing till the next morning. So this was on a Wednesday. So we didn't sleep all night. Thursday morning, I called at 9 o'clock. I asked to speak to a Detective Temple. And I asked him, I said, Detective Temple, I said, I'm calling concerning James Wiggins. He hesitated. I said, look, my son's phone is beaming in you all's building. He said, yes, ma'am, we have your son's phone. He said, I'm almost sure it's your son's body. And I lost him.
So why do you say his so-called friends?
Because there's no way James would have got in the car with a stranger. It was somebody he knew. And with the Life 360, I can tell you from point A to point B which way they got to Garrett Springs.
And Greenwood is off of Garrett Springs. Okay. Was that have you ever seen his phone pinging from over in that area?
Yes, it pinged over there from 2:42 to 5:19 the next morning. And then it looked like around 12 o'clock that day at 12:37, it looked like he was on a one-way over there by Pine Street. And then my grandson, we were sitting in the living room and after this, we was trying to get in touch with him. And I snapshot to him what I seen. And he said, Grandma, this is the police department. And that's when I automatically called, and they couldn't tell me nothing until the next morning.
So what about prior instances? Have you ever seen James' phone ping off of Greenwood?
No. But I have a nephew that lived over at the time. Plus, I had a grandson that lived over at the time. So he was trying to get to his cousin's house.
Okay, so have he ever talked to you about anything going on?
No, but see, James was a bipolar, and he trusted everybody, and he had friends. James knew people I didn't know.
And I feel like, because I know James, of course, and we're going to get into how I know James and how I know y'all. But James, to me, James, he wouldn't have told you everything. I asked you that just because that's just the standard question that I would ask any parent. Did Ebony tell you anything? And we're going to get into who Ebony is, because I know who Ebony is, but the viewers may not know.
If she did, she didn't say nothing. But James liked to hang with the wrong people.
Okay.
And he, like I said, he never met a stranger, and everybody was his friends. And I always tried to tell him, James, they're not your friend. And there's no way my son would have got in the car with a stranger.
So did James claim a hood?
Yes.
Okay. What neighborhood did he claim?
John Burrow.
Have you heard from any of those people? Okay. And then after James died, did anybody reach out to you and, say that they heard anything?
Nobody said anything. It's like nobody knows. But I can say one thing. When the detective came, they went to his nephew's house, which is over there in that Greenway area. And they told him he was the last somebody that James talked to.
James' nephew?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He said James was the last one that you talked to. James talked to you.
Okay. And okay. So now, let's go ahead and we're gonna get back on James, but I want to go on into Ebony because I brought her up and I don't want people confused about everything, how everything ties into each other. Okay, so who is Ebony?
Ebony is my daughter.
Okay. And I know Ebony because we share kids' father. We have the same kids' father. And Ebony is my girl. I got a story coming out, y'all. Episode coming soon about Ebony, but that's my girl. So this is Ebony's son. All right, now we're gonna get back into James, and then we're gonna get back into Ebony. So now that so when you went to detectives and they told you that was the last person that that he had talked to or whatever, have you had any contact with the nephew or anybody?
Several times.
Okay, and have he said anything? Anybody told him anything, or how's he feeling about everything? What is being said?
I honestly believe he knows more than what he's saying, because he told my other nephew that he just didn't want to be considered as a snitch. Yeah. So he knows what happened to my son. Either he had something to do with it, or he was with somebody, or he knows who James was last with.
Okay. Okay, so whew, that's kind of deep because I wasn't expecting that. I knew when James passed away, but I never get into like the deep part of it. So I didn't know anything about that. So okay. Now, when so you said you reach out weekly to these detectives. Well, this detective. Okay. And when was the last time you had contact with him?
He called me November 1st of last year, and that's the last time I spoke with him. And at that time, he said he had two people in mind. He just had to find out who the shooter was, and that's the last I've heard.
Okay. Because you know what I've been running into a lot lately with doing these interviews is they switch up detectives so much. That's what's been going on with the last few people that's interviewed. They said that the detectives kept switching. And with them switching, I guess they kind of put stuff. I don't know. I don't know what them detectives do, but I don't know. We got a lot of unsolved cases in Arkansas. So, well, in Little Rock especially. So, I don't know. But okay, so tell me what do you want, like far as James' case?
I want justice. I want to find out who did it, and I want justice done. Okay. He deserves that.
Yeah, because James wasn't in nothing. So if you find out that the nephew knew, even if he didn't have anything to do with it, if he did, or just period point blank, how would you feel about that?
Not good.
Yeah. Is that his real nephew?
That's his sister's brother.
All our children are special, but James was special because of the true love he had for his family and just about anybody he met.
Gotcha. Okay, so now it's tying in to me who that is. Okay. And then without you getting a little bit, how do you feel about that? You don't want. We gonna leave your comment now. We gonna leave yours out because I don't want you to say the wrong thing. Okay. Okay. So, well, how do you feel about losing the uncle?
No, no.
So, do you feel like that may affect you when you get older? Because you and John, y'all was more like brothers than anything.
Yeah, because we used to do the same. We used to set We used to share. And he used to pick me up from Pine Forest, and we used to play basketball with each other a lot.
Yeah. And you'd have been through a lot. How old are you now, Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have been through it. You didn't had a lot of trauma going on with you too. So, your story is like it's heartbreaking. So, what can you said James died in what year?
2022.
Now, let's get into your daughter. So, you said your daughter name was?
Ebony Robinson.
What day did she?
January 13th, 2025.
So, with her passing in 25 and him passing in 22, you hadn't even finished grieving.
Never started. I never got a chance to start grieving.
And people that follow my page, they may know from seeing, the post. But if you don't follow my page, you don't know. So can you tell me what happened with Ebony?
I had Life 360 on Ebony too. And excuse me, January 13th at 4:24, I got a message from Life 360. And it said Ebony had a heartbreak, drop phone, or collision. Give her a call. So I tried to call and she didn't answer the phone, so that wasn't nothing unusual. So her daddy called me about 4:35. He said Ebony had a bad accident. And he said he was in Hot Springs, so he was headed back. So I called my nephew Kenneth. When I was talking to Kenneth, their auntie called and said that Ebony had a bad wreck and they couldn't find Ariannah.
Since you brought up the name Ariannah for the viewers, who is Ariannah?
Ariannah is my granddaughter, which is Ebony's daughter.
Okay.
So he clicked on the phone to Toria, and Toria said, man, she didn't make it. And I said, what did you say? He said, oh, I'm sorry, Aunt Joyce. I didn't know you was on the phone. I said, what did you say? He said, she didn't make it. And I lost
And he was talking about it.
it. Yes.
Okay, so when y'all went straight to the hospital, so we got the call that they didn't. Well, when I was at work, but I was working from home, and I remember getting the call saying Ebony had a bad wreck and she passed away. So, but Ariannah was still living, and Ariannah is my stepdaughter, and they transported her, and it was other people in the car. Can you tell me who was all in the car?
It was Ariannah. It was Ariannah's daughter, Kamari, her sister, Anaya, her cousin, Lil Richard, and her friend, Brandon.
Brandon.
Lil Richard is my nephew that was living with me for a split second while he was, getting everything back healed up. And Braylon was Ariana's boyfriend at the time. Okay. So, can you tell me from there when we got to the hospital? Because y'all were already there when we made it. What was going on?
Well, when I walked in to the right, it was Anaya. She had a neck brace on and she had a broken left femur. At the time, she was 1. The next room I walked to was Ariannah. they was doing compressions on her. And I looked to the left, and it was Kamari, Ariannah's daughter. And they had a neck brace on her, and she had air in her lungs. Then I walked back down the hall, and it was Little Richard, and they were working on him.
Okay. Okay. So by this time, while they was working on everybody, is that when was that when we seen y'all in the funeral room? Did you come out and that's when y'all was all down there?
Yeah, probably so. Because they would, after they started working with Ariannah, they sent us all out. Because they were constantly working on her.
When I came, you was already outside, so maybe they was around that time. Okay, so what happened when because we got told that Ariannah, what happened with Ariannah. But when I think you got the news first, didn't you?
We all did because we was in the waiting room.
Oh, well, that was when, okay, so that's when they said Ariannah had passed away.
Yeah, they said he did all they could do.
Okay, so now you were there from the jump, right? So what did you see? Like, what was your experience with all of that? How did you feel knowing that your mother had just passed away and your sister?
I thought I would have never lost him.
Did you feel like, because I know you know that was your mama, so but your uncle, that's kind of like a different type of relationship, and then your sister, you hearing about, and you was always with Ariannah and Sky, and y'all just, so how, knowing that both of them had passed, what was you thinking?
I didn't know what to do with myself.
And I don't know, I guess I'm trying to see, like, hey, you really start the process yet that your mama and sister's gone? Like, because it ain't been that long. It's just been in January.
So like a month. Like no, like I don't know.
Well, it's been some months, but I'm saying, have it really just set in like that you won't ever see your mom and your sister again?
No.
Yeah, you really haven't had a chance to really process everything.
But I can tell you that he took James' death harder than he ever.
See that uncle and that that nephew bond, I can see that. And then just me knowing how James was with them, I know I can tell.
And he told me when I found out, he was at Kenneth's house when I talked to Kenneth. All he could say was, "Grandma, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic."
He was saying that at the hospital.
So he was trying to be strong for us.
He was walking around hugging all us at that hospital and telling us to, be strong and it's okay. And I was really tripping because I'm like, Ariannah, that was my baby before I had a baby with their dad.
That was my baby too.
So that was my girl. So it kind of it be some hard days, Yeah. So how are y'all doing with these babies?
Oh, we're doing good with the babies. I mean, they're a piece of work.
Sure it is.
But I think if I didn't have, I might be crazy.
Yeah. Because they really look just like both of them, so, and then they growing up, and it's a good thing they were so close in age because they growing up right there together. So that's gonna be good with them, where they can kind of, when they feeling down or emotional, they can lean on each other, But I think y'all doing a wonderful job. I want to say that I do, and I don't know what they mean, but I appreciate y'all for always being nice to me and my daughter.
Oh yeah, we're gonna let you know when anything go on.
And so that's that. I don't know, but when me and Ebony bonded, we just bonded, and we never kept them girls away from each other. We made sure that they were together. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with not having the same mother, but they got the same. They real sisters.
Oh yeah, and they act like it.
Okay, so let's get back into James because we here to shed light on James as well.
Now we begin with breaking news at this hour. In the last 20 minutes, we've learned Little Rock police are on the scene of another homicide. In this case, we understand one person has been found dead at a home on Greenway Drive. You see here on the map, that's near West 65th and South University. Our crews are working to learn whether there have been any arrests and whether there is any threat to the public right now. We'll be updating the story as soon as we know more.
We really want to focus on the fact that James' case is unsolved. Do you have a message for the detectives?
My message to the detectives is, I feel like with all the information they have, his telephone, his Life 360, there should have been a hard case to solve. And I think that they should take time and solve my son's case. I feel like it would be justice for James.
Okay, so now I gotta ask you a uncomfortable flip question. So let's say everything everything gets solved, case, now it's trial, this person has been arrested. What would you ever consider speaking to that person?
I have one question. Okay. What did my son do so bad that you had to shoot him multiple times?